whatever, right? And they will write it in their register, right? Same thing in Python, we called it as file handling. Okay, now what is a file? A file is a uh, uh, like a journal. Okay, we can call it as a journal, or a it could be a text file, it could be a CSV file, or it could be a Excel file. Okay, and what do you do with those files? You write some details to those files. Okay, for example, if you see system logs, okay, I'm on Windows, event viewer. Okay, now this is my event viewer in Windows. Okay, same thing you will find in Mac also. If anybody has Mac, they'll have a different naming convention. Okay, now this is my this thing. Okay, so I have application security setup, system, and forward events. Okay, now whatever the information that it is writing here, okay, setup, system, and all. Okay, now you see all these are written somewhere in the backend. Okay, if I open, what is the content it will have? Okay, system, service control, event ID, it captures same thing in a register. If you see school, you have a roll number, you have a student name, and you have which classes they were present. Okay, so nowadays if you see in all classes, if you have 5 or 6 classes in a day, from morning to till 3 o'clock or 2:30, whatever the time you have, right? So each and every teacher who is visiting the class, they will take a this thing, okay, for higher classes and all, because there is a tendency higher class people will bunk the class, right? So for that reason, every class they will take a attendance kind of thing, right? Similarly, system also does the attendance. Okay, internally your operating system does that attendance. Okay, so you see a different logs and all, right, levels you can see here. Okay, so this is just the information, something has happened, some service has run so and so time, and this is the timestamp. Okay, and this is the event ID and category. Okay, so we have different category. If you click here, so you can see the category called one. Now you have one level here, error. Okay, so error is none here. Okay, and it has some information. Config red failed something. Okay, config is 18. More data is available. Error. And if you go to details, you can see more data here. Okay, you have to expand. So which application caused this? Windows firewall. Okay, and this is the GUI ID. So reference for this firewall, and event ID is 2042. Okay, and is it serious? Could be. Okay, errors could be serious. Okay, information is just information that something has happened, something is running, and something has launched, something has changed something. Okay, so you have lost, and you have a warning. Warning is where application specific. You can see here activation. If some application is continuously accessing your network for activating the application, right? For say, for example, if you have a Microsoft Office, okay, if you are using a the cracked version of Office, what happens is every now and then it will go to your internet and check to try to activate itself. That is a logic the Microsoft has written. So it should check every time it connects, or when you boot your PC and log in, so it will check. Okay, so this is some warning it will give. It is going to do some activation kind of thing. Okay, and you can see specific do not have a local activation permission from COM. Okay, so these are the information that it writes the system. Similarly, when we are working with Python and all, right, we have to handle files. Okay, and uh, what does it do? What is a file handling in simple language? File handling in Python lets you read and write to files like .txt, .csv, .excel, .doc file extension. Okay, any file, whichever is like a log files or whatever you want to, and it is useful when you want to save, if you want to save that data permanently for future reference. Okay, read data from external source. Okay, so if you have some file which is stored on your cloud, AWS, Google, okay, uh, Google platform, okay, or what is that, AWS, Google and Azure. Okay, these are the environment that we'll come across where you have kept some file. Okay, some applications are running. You have hosted some application on Azure environment. Okay, and it is writing some logs there. Okay, every time you cannot go log in and download that file from Azure site, right? What you'll do is you will create a connectivity connection from your local PC to connect to that Azure IP address, and then in that location you will tell there is a file called logs.txt. I want to read that file and see what is happening. Okay, similarly you will use Python to connect that file and read that file. Okay, similarly sometimes you'll have a other operation like write, not only read. Okay, you want to write some comments from your side also. In some situation you can use a write command. So general file operation we have two. One is read and write. Okay, same Excel you open. Okay, someone has shared a Excel file, you'll open and see. Okay, now you are adding your value there, that is called write. Okay, so what are the use? You can save the data permanently by writing, and you can read the data from external source or internal source. Okay, that is a read, and log program output. Okay, what are the key functions in handling file handling? Okay, key options. One is open. Okay, yeah, this one, this function. One is open. One is read. One is write, close, and with statement. Okay, I have mentioned all those things here. Okay, see this one. Appending a file means you are adding something to the existing file. I have a file called example.txt and I want to add some new line there. Okay, this is the example how to do that. And I have a file writing to a file. Okay, you want to open this file and you want to write, you can do this. Tomorrow we'll see all these things, guys. Okay, this will be very interesting. Okay, so see, after this we are getting into this data science roadmap. Okay, so we will be focusing on Python. Okay, and SQL. Okay, Java is optional and R programming is for statistical learning. Okay, but we will be not learning this. This is an entirely different program set. Okay, and I will cover statistics. Here you see statistics, linear, differential calculus. These are all you might have learned at your academics, right? So we will see. Yeah, I'll cover statistics, but I'll give you some training material to learn all these things. These are very lengthy, right? All from basics, right? So it will take a lot of time. Okay, this is used for algorithm, for calculation, doing some deep learning. Okay, all those things. So we will be focusing this EDA, data wrangling, and fission. These are very important. This I will cover, and then machine learning will pick couple of models here like classification. What is classification? We need to understand first. Okay, so classification modeling, what we can do, how we can get some inference from your data. Okay, so we need to do a very basics about all these things. Okay, what is dimensionality reduction? Okay, generally if you see Excel sheet, right, you will have a lot of columns. Okay, in schools while studying you will see very less columns there, right? Like 10 15 max, right? Column names. First one is the name, second one is the class, third one is the subject's code. Okay, hobbies, email address, home address, mobile phone, blah 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 blah, it will have, right, some 10 fields. But in real time when you work, okay, in any program or data, okay, especially big data and all, okay, you will have almost like 300 columns. Okay, so what this machine learning will do is out of that 300 it will pick up what is required for your programming. Okay, what are the fields that are required for some analysis. So this dimensionality reduction machine learning will give you that understanding. Out of 300 columns we need only 8 9 for our deep learning or machine learning. Okay, so these are, there are meanings for all of this. The regression is like a straight line. Okay, we learned about sequence, data type. Okay, so list, tuple, sets, right? These are all in linear. Okay, straight line. So what does this straight line significance? Okay, when you have a data with X and Y values. So all these are very important topics. Okay, web scraping is something you will use beautiful soap, scrappy, or your lab. I'll take any one of them. Okay, not all. And if you have a website where you have a lot of data on the website, okay, how do you scrape that data and convert that into a structured data, and then you consume that data for your analysis and visualization. This thing will learn Tableau, Power BI. Okay, not all these things. Tableau and Power BI is very famous in the market. If you learn Power BI and SQL, Python, and this one, green one, data analysis, done. You will end up with getting some or the other job. Okay. So we learn also about the libraries. Okay, these are all very basics. First sheet that you see, these are all basics. Okay, very basics. So after this, another 1 week we will do this, and then we will get into the data science core. Okay, that is again in Python only. Okay, so I have prepared another sheet. I'll share that later on. Okay, EDA. It's called exploratory data analysis. Okay, what is a data frame? You need to understand what is a data frame. When your data is in the form of row and columns, we call that as data frame. Okay, now what is series? Okay, this one column we'll call it as series. Okay, now how do you read or write any file in Python? Okay, you have a read function. Okay, in Python for pandas, and then you will read that file and convert. If you want to convert to different format, you can do that. Okay, these are the things that you predominantly see a data engineer guy person will be working on. Okay, not only on the local PC, from desktop, from remote server, from cloud, from GCP, from website. So that his job is to inject data. Okay, concept is very good, but we have to spend a lot of time in our learning practice, right? Without practice, you will not learn anything. A minute, I have machine learning also. Yeah, so I've created all different training section, okay, which I give for outsiders. Okay, okay. When we say about machine, what is machine learning or AI? What is AI? Artificial intelligence. Okay, so it is a combination of two things. One is data plus algorithm. That's it. Okay, you're gonna learn all those things. So this is the difference. Deep learning is the internal kernel. Okay, internal, very deep. Okay, it's called, and on top of it you have machine learning. On top of it you have AI. What is the difference? Originated 1950, 1960, 1970s. Okay, stimulated intelligence in machine, just like human, right? If you ask, you have there was two movies released, right? And we know as a human, you know which movie will click in the market, right? If it is action and if the heroes are popular in the market, definitely it will click. But do machines know that intelligence to detect which will movie? So what it will do is, whoever are the character, you need to feed that data, the movie name, who are the actors, and all that. What it does is, in the background, it goes search what are the movies he did, okay, and what was the rating, okay, for all his movie from IMDb. He will pick up all those data and ratings. Okay, it will take an average and it will say it will this movie will run 50-50. But as a human, we know our this movie will run. I mean, will collect 100 crores. But this is how it does. Okay, so AI is based on data plus algorithm. Okay, and machine learning ML is on decision, make decision without being programmed. Okay, it should understand. Again, it is also, there is algorithm that is running, it will understand which is good based on the practice and the data that we are feeding in. So all these three that you see here, We have to keep on, like you have a vehicle, you have to feed petrol or diesel or battery, charge battery to make him run, right? Similarly here, to run this artificial machine ML and DL, what you have to do, you have to feed data. As long as you feed data, as much as it will learn from that data, and it will think, and it will make some decisions. Okay, so these are all some of the elements. Okay, machine learning where we can use medical diagnosis, all this I have added. Okay, so we'll go. Okay, learning, what are the types of learning? Supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. What is machine learning? Okay, in machine learning, you have three subdivision: supervised, and again supervised. You have classification and regression. This is a straight line I was talking about. You have a straight line, it will create automatically, and these points that you see, blue points, these are all data points. Okay, these are all data points. Okay, now the closer to the line means, it means there is a tendency that our data will give accurate data. I mean, decision making you can take. If these points are somewhere here, 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 means that okay, you cannot, you can tell data are not linear, and you might get profit out of this business, or might you will get end up with losing your money. Okay, so these are all the important points, man. Okay, you will learn all these things. I've added all these things bit by bit. Okay, by the time we'll come to this, see, this learning is for entire 1 year. Okay, I'm going with very slow pace. Actually, within 1 month, I complete this for outsiders, because you guys are learning in learning stage, right? So it will take some time for you guys. Okay, these are all the learnings. Three types of learnings. Okay, and these are the functions. Okay, y is equal to f of x. Okay, what is x? X is your variable, function of x. Okay, algorithm also will study something here and there. Okay, now here supervised learning. In supervised learning, what happens is, assuming you have a machine, a computer, you are feeding label to all this machine. You are telling one is square, circle. This one is this one is what is this called, guys? Hexagon. It is written hexagon. Okay, triangle, hexagon. Okay, when you feed this and you add a labels to your machine learning, you tell this is this image, if you get this is a rectangle, this image circle, this image triangle, this image hexagon. And when I give him 10 images label data randomly from internet, it will treat that as triangle. It will know what that type of, if it is not there in the data, learning data, this is called learning data, this is test data. Okay, so similarly, see, if you see in our childhood, our parents used to train us, right? Whenever you go out, you will learn outside this thing, right? Environment. Like for example, you go out and you see if a train is going, right, your father will tell this is a train. Okay, now he will show this is a bus. Okay, by four-wheeler. Okay, auto difference, cycle difference, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, bike, scooty. But you learn from your observation outside. Similarly, here also you need to give all those data points to your machine, and you need to give a label also, what is what. Okay, what is a train, what is the difference between train and bus. Okay, bus will have only four wheel, train will have unlimited. Okay, then when you feed some image to your machine learning, it will say these are trains. Okay, so these are very simple, guys. Okay, machine learning. Okay, very simple. Only thing is, you if you spend some time to understand with examples, it will be easy cakewalk for you guys. Okay, and algorithm and all are ready-made available nowadays. Okay, only thing is you have to hook the data and you have to do the analysis. Okay, chalo guys, I think we are on top of the earth. From tomorrow, we'll start uh, these topics. Okay, file operation. Okay, so tomorrow we'll learn file operation. Okay, since a lot of guys are not available today, some of them have sent email to me, a message that they have some unexpected guest at home and they cannot join. Okay, that's okay. But we'll see tomorrow. Okay, and tomorrow, Saib, I'll tell you to record the session and so that we can hand it over to them. Okay, chalo guys, then we'll take leave. We'll meet 8 sharp tomorrow for new topic. Okay,
Sure, sir. Yeah.
yeah, chalo, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.